Hey guys, welcome back. This is Kakarot ZUA all-time favorite. Today we are gonna see what if Goku was a sorcerer. So let's move on to the video. Privet Drive was like every other street in the small town of Surrey, with white picket fences, freshly mowed lawns, and a car in the garage. Everyone was living the American dream except for the part where they re-British. But that night, while everyone was asleep, a man appeared in the middle of the street. This man was Albus Dumbledore. Now, if anyone was outside at 3 in the morning and saw this man, they would have thought he was very strange. He wore silver robes with moon and stars on them. He had a long silver beard and a broken nose. From his pocket he pulled out his deluminator. With a flick of a switch, balls of light flew from the street lights and into the deluminator. Once the street became dark, Dumbledore noticed a tabby cat staring at him from atop a mailbox. "Good evening, Professor McGonagall," said Dumbledore to the cat. The cat leaped from the mailbox, transforming into a tall, severe-looking woman with her black hair in a tight bun. "Good evening, Professor Dumbledore," replied Professor McGonagall. "Are the rumors true?" "They're true, Dumbledore and Lily and James," Professor McGonagall asked. "If they're alive, they should apparate here in 3, 2, 1. As if on cue, a woman with long red hair and green eyes apparated with a man with glasses and messy black hair. In the woman's arms is a 1-year-old baby with a lightning bolt-shaped scar on his forehead. The three walked over to Professor Dumbledore and McGonagall. "Thank goodness you three are all right, but where's Goku?" asked McGonagall. "We barely got away, he nearly squished us," James said. "And what of Voldemort?" Dumbledore asked. "Don't he say the name?" Albus McGonagall said. "Now come now, Minerva, fear of a name only increases fear of the object itself. I don't care what you call him, I just want both of my sons," Albus said. Lily as she collapsed onto the pavement, never letting go of Harry. "Can't you fix that scar on his forehead, Albus?" Professor McGonagall asked. "I am afraid I cannot. Scars can be very useful, though I have one on my left thigh that I use as a map of the London Underground." James walked away from his wife and over to his former professors. "I assume you have a plan for getting Goku out of Godric's Hollow?" James asked. "Because if we lived and he died, she will slaughter you where you stand. Tell your wife there's no for violence. Hagrid will be here any time now." "Are you sure, Albus, that Hagrid can handle this kind of job?" Professor McGonagall. "I would trust Hagrid with my life. Here he is now." As Dumbledore finished his sentence, a flying motorcycle landed on Privet Drive. Driving the bike was a bearded giant carrying a crying baby with messy black hair and a monkey tail. He was completely naked with odd black marks on his stomach. "Evening, Professor Dumbledore. Did what you asked got him to this exact spot, just like you asked?" Dumbledore looked at the crying baby. "Hagrid, do you know what those marks are on Goku's stomach?" he asked the giant man. "Not at all, Professor," said Hagrid as he gave the child to the old wizard. Looking closer, the marks looked like a black spiral surrounded by a circle. "Hagrid, how did Goku acquire this mark?" "It happened while he was a giant monkey. You know who blasted him with a hex as Goku blasted him with a giant ki blast from his mouth. I never saw anything with such power." "I'm sorry to interrupt, but where are we supposed to live now?" James asked after receiving a dirty look from his wife. "Not to worry, that's been taken care of. Here are the keys to your house, number 5 Privet Drive," Dumbledore answered, giving him a key. Great, Lily Potter thought to herself. "My sister, her fat husband, and that spoiled little brat are our neighbors. Well, it could be worse, so I should at least try to be nice." "Well, everyone, I think that's enough excitement for one night. Good night," Dumbledore said before handing the crying baby to James and returning the lights in the deluminator to their proper place before apparating away. 10 years later, Lily was in the kitchen staring at the cake baking in the oven. Her husband was at the table drinking a cup of coffee, enjoying the silence of his kids asleep. "James, how many times should I duplicate the you-know-what?" his wife asked from the kitchen. "What's the you-know-what?" James replied. "Keep this up, James Potter, and you won't get a slice of Goku's birthday cake." She heard a loud bang as she realized her mistake. "Darn it, James, you woke him up." The 11-year-old Saiyan sped into the kitchen. Once Goku got downstairs, he could smell the chocolate cake in the oven. He was wearing a black t-shirt and gray shorts, his hair always looking like he just got out of bed, and his tail wrapped around his waist like a belt. "Cake," Goku said, his mouth salivating. Even though no one actually knew when his birthday was, they had let him pick the day, but Mom wasn't all that happy when he picked the same day as his cousin Dudley. "Hang on, mister, did you brush your teeth?" asked Lily. "Yes, Mom." "Wash your face." "Yes, Mom." "Wake up your brother and sister." "No mom, well go wake him up or no cake," his mother told him. With the threat of no cake on his shoulders, he ran upstairs to wake up his siblings. He went into the first room near the stairs to find his 10-year-old sister Ruby fast asleep in her bed, her black hair hanging in her face. This was going to be fun. "Ruby, wake up," he screamed in his sister's ear, making her jump out of bed. He knew she hated being woken up, but it was either let her sleep or no cake. "I hate it when you do that," Ruby mumbled, wanting to go back to sleep, but she knew that he would let hell freeze over before he went without cake on his birthday, so that meant she had to be awake. "Come on, Ruby, it's a beautiful day, you shouldn't be asleep." "You just waking me up because you want cake," said Ruby, irritated at her adopted brother's monstrous appetite. Goku waited until his sister was out of bed and walking to the bathroom before going to the large room he shared with his brother Harry. Without warning, he leaped onto his brother's bed, bouncing up and down, making him the world's most annoying alarm clock. Harry had been dreaming about his first year at Hogwarts when his monkey-tailed brother woke him up. There was only one reason Goku woke up, either him or Ruby. Harry woke up and reached for his glasses. "Do you have to do that every year?" "Yeah, pretty much. Come on, I want cake and then we have to give our present to Dudley." "Why does Mum make us do it every year? He probably throws it away after we leave." Harry and Goku got out of bed and walked downstairs just as Ruby got out of the bathroom wearing her usual outfit of jeans and a leather jacket over Beatles t-shirt. Ruby Potter was by all definition a tomboy. She refused to wear any form of feminine clothing and despised the color pink. They three Potter siblings walked into the kitchen and saw at Goku's seat 5 chocolate cakes in front of his spot and a gallon of milk. The rest of the family was sharing one cake. Food faster than anyone could blink, Goku left his sibling's side and went to consuming his inhumanely large portion of food. After 5 minutes the cakes were gone and he was chugging down the entire gallon of milk. "How long did it take him this year?" Ruby asked. 6 minutes 12 seconds, said James, answering his daughter. "I feel sorry for whoever marries him," Harry mumbled. Once everyone was done, the 3 Potter kids had to go to Dudley's to give him his present, which according to Ruby was just a €1 bill with a couple of zeros after the one drawn in permanent marker. Dudley was so dumb he wouldn't notice until he tried to buy something. With the present in Ruby's pocket, they walked across the street to number 4 Privet Drive. The 3 Potters walked throughout the street to number 4 Privet Power and were about to knock on the door when Harry grew to become to his brother. "Goku, promise you may not attack Dudley again." Flashback. Goku, Ruby and Harry had been sitting within the back of Uncle Vernon's vehicle with Dudley and one in every of the youngsters. His gang, for whatever cause Dudley had demanded that they arrive in conjunction with him on his birthday experience to the zoo. In order that supposed listening to Uncle Vernon go on and on about something he felt like complaining approximately nowadays, even as Aunt Petunia sat in shotgun agreed with each phrase her husband stated as though it had been coming from the Pope himself. His common proceedings included taxes, politics and whatever that wasn't his definition of ordinary, which blanketed 3 of the youngsters inside the again of his automobile. Today he was complaining approximately motorcycles. Loopy hooligans thinking they personal the road, Uncle Vernon grumbled as a motorcycle zoomed beyond him. Harry knew higher than to say something to his uncle, so he stored his mouth shut. 20 long minutes later they arrived on the zoo. Dudley demanded to pair all of the dangerous animals in order that they had been dragged from the lion to the tiger and everything with fangs and claws until it turned into lunchtime. Usually this intended Dudley would get a mountain of meals, but pretty Uncle Vernon simply offered Goku a warm canine. This didn't pass neglected by means of Harry and Ruby. "Pinch me, I ought to be dreaming they spent money on one of us." "Do you need it, Ruby?" Goku requested, presenting his sister the new canine. "Are you certain I am no longer dreaming?" Goku isn't always stuffing meals in his face, stated Harry. "No, you no longer dreaming. Every year these guys treat you want something that came out of the restroom. You're my brother and sister and that they cannot purchase me with a hot dog despite the fact that I am genuinely hungry." Goku eat the recent canine with our very own cash. Ruby didn't even end her sentence before the recent dog turned into long past. After lunch they went to the reptile house. Harry became looking at a python need to be lonely in their isn't it. To Harry's surprise the python nodded his head. "Can you apprehend me all over again?" The huge snake nodded his head. Harry appeared to look what kind of snake it changed into. Brazilian tree boa. Is it nice in Brazil? The snake pointed on the sign. Born in captivity. It really is too awful. Do you want to visit Brazil? The snake nodded his head and for the second one time these days surprised Harry pass out of the way. Harry then noticed the screaming as Dudley and his friend flew via the air into the boa's enclosure. By some means the glass had vanished. The snake slithered out scaring, inflicting most people to run away in worry. Tell the Saiyan I owe him one. Brazil, here I come. The snake slithered out and through the panicking zoo. Saiyan, what in bloody hell is a Saiyan? Ruby and Goku came over alongside a panicking Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia. As if with the aid of magic the glass had reappeared. The two boys panicked at the same time as the zookeeper on responsibility tried to calm down Aunt Petunia. Ha, serves them right for doing that with my sister. Harry abruptly felt very sorry for any female who tried to flirt with Ruby. Stop of flashback. He began it via trying to touch Ruby beneath her skirt. However, I promise. The door opened and Uncle Vernon opened the door while he saw Goku, his face contorted into a mask of irritated fury. You have a number of nerve coming to this house after what you did, you monkey-tailed freak. Goku wasn't saying anything, so Harry and Ruby stood in the front of him. Do not call my brother a freak. He changed into best protecting me after what your spoiled brat and his gross friend did to me. Do not you dare insult my son. You are the spawn of an unnatural freak and a very good for not anything magician, and him. Even they are not unnatural as him. He need to be locked up somewhere and dissected. It might do the arena a provider if that scrawny messy-haired piece of dirt become buried in a ditch somewhere and his depressing carcass changed into left to rot due to the fact even the buzzards would not contact it. Now get off of my belongings before I call animal manage on that freak. Ruby and Harry had been approximately to leave while Goku progressed and with all of his strength kicked the man's crotch, watching him kneel over in ache before becoming a member of his siblings. That turned into bloody notable. Goku. Ruby advised her massive brother cheerfully. Tomorrow, even as everyone turned into at breakfast, an owl flew in via the window and landed on Goku's head. Hi birdie, please get off my head, Goku requested the owl. The owl then flew off of Goku's head and onto Harry's head, earlier than dropping an envelope into his oatmeal. Pricey Mr. Potter, you've got been standard to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Indexed below are the substances you'll want for your first 12 months. 1 Hogwarts uniform, a pewter cauldron and potion making kit. Dragon paws and skin gloves. 1 telescope. Hogwarts book set year 1. Hogwarts martial arts GI college students are also allowed to convey a cat, rat, toad or owl along with them. And as a reminder, in your father first years aren't allowed to deliver brooms, and Mr. Filch will seek via your bags throughout the welcome banquet. Truly yours, Minerva McGonagall, Deputy Headmistress, Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Harry had read the letter out loud and each person was guffawing at how Professor McGonagall had protected a warning to James. Have amusing at Hogwarts, Harry. Goku said he turned into glad for his brother that he got to go to Hogwarts. It would get clearly lonely, even extra, when Ruby went next 12 months, but he turned into going to be glad for his brother. Just then the front door burst open and a very large bearded man walked via. Morning, Potters, stated Hagrid as he walked through the door sporting an object wrapped in a package deal and an elaborate pink umbrella. Sorry about the door. All right, Hagrid, not that it isn't awesome to see you, however why are you here, requested James. Properly to carry Goku his school supplies. Of course, Professor Dumbledore recognize he cannot do magic, however he needs Professor Sun to train him. Yahoo, I am getting to go to Hogwarts, Goku cheered. Fortunately, Goku went straight for the bundle in Hagrid's hand, beginning it up to reveal an orange GI with a kanji for turtle in a circle on the returned, and over the heart it came with a blue belt and a tail hollow within the package, become additionally a e-book. Why is there a book in here? Nicely for the governors to agree you need to take defense towards the darkish arts elegance. Properly, in case you do not were given any greater questions, we could go to Diagon Alley. Sure, each Harry and Goku stated, seeing that they've never been to Diagon Alley earlier than. Keep on a 2D, said Lily, interrupting their top temper. Hagrid promised nothing horrific will occur. Yeah, have my phrase, Lily. Come on boys, shall we pass? The two new first years left the house and a feeling of dread descended on their mom as she knew something changed into going to show up. Harry and Goku were driving in the subway with Hagrid. All of the Muggles have been staring due to the fact they by no means saw anybody so tremendous. They were given off of the educate and walked up a few stairs to the leaky cauldron. In a well allow us just say it seemed and smelled loads better outdoor. The bartender, a bald toothless guy, noticed Hagrid and gave him a toothless grin. Hagrid, good to see you. Do you want the standard now? Not these days, Tom. I am on Hogwarts Enterprise and ought to assist Harry get his components for faculty. Look at Harry Potter. Absolutely everyone swarmed around Harry like moths to a flame. All of them wanted to shake his hand, ask for his autograph. All proper go into reverse, yeah, bunch of harpies. The crowd of witches and wizards dispersed and Hagrid, Goku and Harry walked through the bar and out to a brick wall. Hagrid uses his umbrella to force it. Some of the bricks, a panel in the wall opens up. Welcome to Diagon Alley. They stroll into a shopping center for the entirety a wizard could want. However, Goku wasn't listening to the shops but a building with delicious smells. Oh no, thought Harry as he saw the signal outside the door. Barty's American Wizard Barbecue all-you-can-eat buffet. Hagrid noticed Goku drooling and passed him a few cash. Move beforehand. Goku devour till your little stomach is full. Goku became long gone before Hagrid ought to end his sentence. Whilst Goku changed into long gone, Hagrid and Harry went to a bookshop to buy Harry's books. Then they went to get his potion-making kit, cauldron and telescope. Harry, can ye cope with getting the rest of the things on your listing? I want to pick something up for Professor Dumbledore. Harry nodded his head as Hagrid walked over to a huge marble constructing. Harry walked to a garb keep wherein an vintage woman became making measurements around a pale-skinned boy with blonde hair and an arrogant look on his face. So the outstanding Harry Potter has come to Hogwarts. I am Draco Malfoy. I understand who you re, and being the son of blood purists does not impress me. You understand I may want to help you as soon as we get to Hogwarts. How? By getting all of us to hate me? No, by showing you who to keep away from, like all of the mudbloods and this charity case my father told me about. Can't he even use magic? However, he receives non-public lessons from Professor Sun because he is an half-breed. What do you suggest? Half-breed Malfoy stepped off the platform he became standing on as he turned into surpassed his college robes and an emerald inexperienced GI and a silver belt. My father advised me that he landed in a round deliver on the Quidditch pitch in the course of a suit as an infant. Professor Dumbledore gave him to some dust blood to elevate. He is alleged to have spiky black hair and a monkey tail. A monkey tail. Harry may want to handiest consider one man or woman with a monkey tail, and that became Goku. So who that snake turned into speaking about? Should it had been Goku, and why did he call him a Saiyan? What changed into that besides? Malfoy walked out. Wizards like us must permit a freak like him into our faculty, am I right? Harry, performing on an impulse of anger, punched Malfoy through the wall next to the door. If Goku had carried out it, the little git could have gone through the wall. However, Harry knew enough about ki to knock him out. Harry walked out together with his gowns and GI. 20 minutes later, the lady had even let him have it without spending a dime, because she wasn't a fan of the Malfoys. Harry was approximately to visit Ollivander's wand store while he heard screaming coming from the barbecue region. Goku became it. He ran over to discover Goku being chased out by means of a massive man with a wand in a single hand and a meat cleaver in any other. Come back right here again and you will be on the menu. Goku, do you need to get yourself kicked out of every eating place you go to? I do not get why he were given mad at me. It's all you may consume in there. They suggest with the aid of normal people's standards no longer yours. Come on, how about we move? Get my wand. Okay. Goku and Harry walked to Ollivander's wand save, which turned into filled with high cabinets and an vintage guy sitting behind a counter. Ah, good day Mr. Potter, let us get you measured for a wand. The person started measuring Harry's hand with a magic tape measure that wrapped around his wrist and took numerous measurements. He then were given down numerous containers. Right here, let us do this. 12 inches elm dragon heartstring. Harry became given a wand. When he waved it, the wand made a fart noise. No, it is now not the right healthy. How approximately this 10 inches K dot and unicorn hair. The old guy took the primary wand and gave him a second wand. As opposed to a fart noise, it made some exploding sparks. No, it really is now not proper either. This could appear like an peculiar aggregate, but 11 inches holly and phoenix feather. When the wand changed into placed in Harry's hand, it began glowing in a golden light. Interesting, very thrilling. I didn't see anything. The wand works for Harry. What's the large deal? You spot each unicorn hair, phoenix feather and dragon heartstring I exploit comes from a special creature. Except for the wand to your hand, I used to be able to get 2 feathers from the identical phoenix. The other wand I bought to become a darkish wizard person who even today is feared and hated. The wand chooses the wizard Mr. Potter, and it appears you are chosen for terrific matters. The Potter family was walking through King's Cross Station, Harry pushing a trolley with his trunk and new owl Hedwig, while Goku simply wore his turtle school GI. Don't you think it's a little disgusting to wear the same thing for a year? Asked Ruby. You wear the same jacket every day. That's different. I wear different clothes under it, Ruby said. I swear, Goku, most of the time you a pain. Harry was getting really irritated with the argument and was thankful to see the entrance to platform 9 3/4, where a group of red-haired people were standing judging from the owl cage and the trunks with the Hogwarts crest on the side. They definitely weren't muggles. Why is there a wall blocking the entrance? Do I need to smash it? Asked the Saiyan. No, Goku sweetie, no need to smash the barrier, you just walk through it, said Lily, answering her son before he destroyed the barrier. The Weasley family was about to walk through the barrier to the Hogwarts Express when Molly Weasley noticed her old classmates from Hogwarts and their family. Nice to see again, Molly, said Lily. It's been too long, old friends. So this is the family. Yes, my son Harry, my daughter Ruby and my adopted son Goku. A pleasure to meet you all. Let us finish this conversation on the platform. When no one was looking, the 2 families passed through the barrier and onto a platform where a crimson-red steam engine was waiting. Now I want no trouble from you 2, said Mrs. Weasley, looking at 2 15-year-old boys who had red hair like all of the Weasley kids. Trouble us? We won't get into any trouble, right, Fred, said the twin on the left. Honestly, Mum, do you really have so little faith in us, said the twin on the right. I've gotten more letters from Hogwarts from you 2 than all of my children put together. Why can't you be more like Percy? The tallest of the Weasley kids had a look on his face similar to Malfoy's, but less arrogant. He was already wearing his Hogwarts uniform minus the robes and had a badge with a lion pinned to his chest. Because he's a git, answered Fred. No, he's not a git, he's more of a snobby know-it-all, said George. Better a snobby know-it-all than a delinquent who would blow up a toilet, said Percy. Blow up a toilet, great idea, Percy, said George. Percy was angry at himself for giving the idea, but then noticed a boy. He was about the size of a house elf with spiky black hair, eyes the color of ebony and white skin. He was wearing an orange martial arts GI with the kanji for turtle in a circle over his heart and a brown furry belt. Why don't you have any of your school supplies? Aren't you going to Hogwarts? Yeah, I am going, but I am not a wizard. Professor Dumbledore made some kind of deal that I could get fighting lessons from someone named Professor Sun. In exchange, I have to take Defense of the Dark Arts class, Goku said with a big smile on his face. Just then, the train blew its whistle. No time for goodbyes, everyone on the train, and Goku. Harry, don't do anything your father would do, said Lily. Goku and Harry nodded their heads as they ran with the other Weasleys to get on the train. They made it just in time. Goku lifted Harry's trunk with his tail and placed it on the train just as it began moving. On board the Hogwarts Express, Goku was running through the train in mad pursuit of a chocolate frog. His new friend Ron had told him not to even bother with trying to catch it, but it looked good, so he wanted it. He was so occupied with chasing the milk chocolate amphibian he didn't notice when he bumped into a girl. Hermione Granger was helping a boy named Neville find his lost toad when she bumped into a boy with black spiky hair wearing an orange martial arts uniform. From her reading, she recognized it as a turtle school uniform. He had a brown furry belt and looked to be about as tall as her stomach. "I'm sorry, are you alright?" asked Goku. Goku looked at the girl he had accidentally knocked over. She looked his age with brown hair. In her hand were a bunch of books and the delicious chocolate frog taunting him on top of her hair. "You have a chocolate frog on your head," said Goku, laughing. "What? Get it off!" Hermione shrieked. Goku grabbed the chocolate frog off her head before it could hop off, before placing it in his mouth. "Did you really just eat that?" asked Hermione. I've been chasing it all over the train. I think I made a bunch of 7th years really pissed at me when I charged into their compartment. I am Hermione, nice to meet you, my name is Goku, you're Goku, I was just reading about you being the first alien trained by Professor Sun. That's me, but what is an alien? Hermione showed a copy of the Daily Prophet. The front page was dominated by a picture of a baby Goku in a Saiyan space pod crying. You an alien Goku, you were born on another planet and came here as a baby, does that answer your question? Yeah, so are you Muggle born? You smell like the dentist. Yes, I am Muggle born. Is that a bad thing? No, I am afraid of shots. Hermione was laughing with Goku all the way to the compartment where Harry and Ron were sitting. They had finished off the rest of the candy. Sorry mate, but you took too long, Ron said before burping. His breath smelled like licorice and chocolate. Hermione sat in compartment with him for the rest of the ride, talking to Goku about famous martial artists, the strongest under the heavens tournament in Japan, and she showed Goku a picture of an old man doing the Kamehameha. So this is Hogwarts, said Goku as he got off the train and onto the station. All of the first years were walking over to Hagrid. Goku was about to when an old man in a martial arts gi and a hat on his head walked over to him. Hello, I am Professor Sun and you must be Goku. You're shorter than I thought you'd be. You older than I'd thought you'd be. Oh, so the little monkey has his father's mouth, does he? Well, here is your first exercise. Follow the upperclassmen to the path. They will be getting into carriages that will take them to the school. You run as fast as you can to the castle and make it before the sorting is done. Do you understand? Yes sir, said Goku. Goku followed the upperclassmen to a line of carriages pulled by black skeletal horses, began running as fast as he could up the path. After a few minutes he could see the large castle and smell the food. Food! Goku screamed as he began running faster, bursting through the door, literally sending wood splinters in every direction before running into Professor McGonagall. Based on the uniform, I will assume you are Gohan's student. Please enter the Great Hall and sit anywhere you wish, said Professor McGonagall, and please don't break another door. Goku apologized and walked into the Great Hall filled with students. He went over and sat at the Gryffindor table next to the Weasley twins and a girl with blue hair. Look Fred, it's the monkey who made Percy ticked, said George. Why yes Fred, I do believe it is, said Fred. You know my name is Goku, right? We know, said Fred. We mess with everyone, said George. You get used to them after a while, said the blue-haired girl. My name's Bulma. Are you joining Gryffindor? I am not a wizard, sir. I don't think I can, said Goku. Just then the other first years walked in and the sorting happened. Everyone at the Gryffindor table cheered when Harry was sorted into Gryffindor. We got Potter, the Weasley twins shouted. After the cheering had died down, Professor Dumbledore stood up. Welcome to another year at Hogwarts. Now there are a few things that need to be discussed. First off, the corridor on the third floor is forbidden to all who do not wish to die a painful death. Also, Professor Sun later in the year will be taking 2 students to the Tenkaichi Budokai tournament later this year, so try your best in his class. Now on with the feast. At every table every kind of food appeared. Food. Goku dived into the buffet, eating everything he could get his fingers on and stuffing it into his mouth. Bloody hell, said Ron as he looked at Goku eat 10 times his weight in food. You get used to it after a while, said Harry. Just pray he doesn't sit here every day. Professor Quirrell was an average wizard before being asked to teach at Hogwarts. He had thought it to be a good idea to take a research trip to Albania until he met a certain wizard. Activate the seal, said a hissing voice in his mind. As you wish, Master Acheron. Goku was about to grab a turkey leg when he felt a burning pain coming from his gut. He fell back holding onto his stomach as the seal on his stomach glowed bright red as a voice screamed in his head over and over. Damn you, Frieza, was the last thing Goku heard before passing out. Goku. Harry rushed over to his adopted brother. The seal on his stomach was glowing and his face contorted in pain. Perfect, the Potter brat is in range of the seal. Activated for him as well, the hissing voice commanded in Professor Quirrell's mind. As you wish, Master Acheron. As suddenly as it had attacked Goku, Harry felt a burning pain in the scar on his forehead and he collapsed. By now a crowd had gathered around him. The teachers came over and dispersed the crowd. All students to their common rooms now, said Professor Dumbledore as he levitated the 2 boys out of the Great Hall and to the hospital wing. In the hospital wing, both Goku and Harry were laying in hospital beds. Goku's shirt was off, while Professor Sun and Professor Snape examined the seal. Well, Gohan Severus, what do you make of it? Well, Albus, this is a highly complicated restriction seal. It is designed to restrict physical and magical capabilities. I would have to say, based on the time it would have taken to create a seal this complex, I would say it was made beforehand and for another target, most likely you, Albus. Also, due to the restrictive magic in the seal, his body will cease growing. Thank you, Gohan Severus. Do you know what is going on in his mind? Unfortunately, I do. He is reliving his last moments. He saw his father alive. In those last moments, the Saiyan known as Bardock attacked a tyrant called Frieza, who with a ki blast created with a finger destroyed him and his home planet. Saiyan Severus the First can explain, Dumbledore said, a voice that everyone in the room heard. Ah, Kami, a pleasure to hear from you again from the lookout. The wrinkled green Namekian speaks to Dumbledore. I have spoken with King Kai. Dumbledore, the Saiyans were a warrior race who lived for battle and combat. They can be identified by their human-like appearance and monkey tail. A few other characteristics you should know: their power increases from surviving near-death experiences, and when a Saiyan is put into a moment of extreme anger, a transformation can be released. A transformation? What does this transformation look like? The Saiyan will gain an increase in muscle size, his hair will lengthen and stand up, going from black to gold, but the most startling transformation is in the personality. In a transformed state, a Saiyan will not show mercy to an enemy, going from kind to heartless in a second. Thank you for the information, Kami, said Professor Dumbledore. Not a problem, old friend, but I should warn you, Gohan is correct about the seal, but according to King Kai, the seal will only affect his growth. His key abilities will not go undamaged. Professor Dumbledore looked at the young Saiyan. It seemed that the pain from Goku's seal and Harry's scar had ceased. Severus, Gohan, keep an eye on Quirrell. Goku woke up in what smelled like a hospital, which was Goku's signal to make a break for the door and run before they brought out the needles. Good morning. Goku looked to see Professor Dumbledore standing by his bed. Professor, get me out of here before they bring out the needles. Albus Dumbledore had seen many things in his life, but the young Saiyan in front of him, possibly the last member of a race who lived for the thrill of battle, afraid of a Muggle medical practice, made him chuckle. No need to be afraid, there are no needles within miles of the place. Hearing this, Goku visibly relaxed. Well, that SA relief needles would have been worse than that nightmare I had. Would this nightmare involve a man known as Bardock dying at the hands of a being called Frieza? How did you know that? Goku asked as he remembered the nightmare. Flashback: deep in the outer reaches of space above a purple planet, a battle was occurring. A multitude of beings wearing the same armor were being slaughtered by a single man. He was a tall man with well-defined muscles and had a healthy tan, wearing green armor and a blood-stained bandana under his spiky black hair, a scar on his left cheek, a souvenir from his first mission, his fists soaked in a rainbow of blood from the enemies he had slaughtered. Frieza, show yourself. From a large spaceship, a little alien man flew out. He was relatively small, wearing a purple chest plate. His face had an expression of arrogance that far exceeded the Malfoys. Standing to his left was a fat-looking pink man who looked like a sea urchin, and to his right was a handsome blue man with long green hair in a braid. So you survived planet Meet Bardock, Frieza said in a surprisingly feminine voice. Why, Frieza, we've worked together for 15 years. Why did you betray us? Show some respect, you filthy Saiyan, the pink man yelled. Now, Dodoria, the stupid monkey, asked an honest question. 300 years ago, my grandfather was a powerful space pirate. Who laid the foundations of my empire? He was going to conquer this god-forsaken planet for the medicine. Its people had but a Saiyan for whatever reason was on the planet and killed the men he sent, so he came to conquer the planet personally and faced this Saiyan in combat. At first it seemed he would have won, but somehow attacking a native child angered the Saiyan. He kept shouting, if only then, and a transformation occurred. His hair went from black to blonde and he blasted my grandfather off of the planet. Before he died, he warned his men of the Super Saiyan and to prevent another Super Saiyan and to avenge my grandfather. Chilled, you and your people will die. It ends here. Frieza, my fate's planet Vegeta, my new son Kakarot S, and yes, even your fate will be decided with this. Bardock formed an energy blast in his hand and fired, which Frieza easily deflected. That was pathetic, Bardock. I expected more from the warrior who conquered planet Kanasa so easily. With his finger, Frieza created an energy blast that expanded to the size of the sun as it hit Bardock. Damn you, Frieza, he shouted as the supernova blasted him before continuing its path through the men Bardock had not slaughtered and into the planet, watching it explode. Just then the blue alien noticed a Saiyan spacepod outside of the blast zone. Sir, a Saiyan is trying to escape, shall I destroy him? Dodoria activated his scouter, seeing the Saiyan was an infant with a power level of 1. Don't bother Zaban, it's just a low-class infant, he'll be dead the minute he's outside the pod. End of flashback. I am sorry Goku, but what you saw was a memory, not a dream. Sir, you are a Saiyan and possibly the last member of your race. For a minute Goku looked depressed at seeing the death of his biological father, but then his stomach rumbled. Goku, if you wish to have breakfast before training, may I recommend sitting at a table besides Gryffindor, as you devoured most of the food. Goku gave a big smile before running as fast as he could into the Great Hall, finding an open place across from Draco Malfoy. Get off our table, you filthy monkey. Goku felt anger at those words, close to the same ones used against his father before he died. What did you call me? You heard me, you filthy monkey. Go sit with your worthless friend and his weasel. Malfoy would have said more if Goku's hands weren't on his neck. Insult anyone I care about again and it'll be the last mistake you will ever make. Goku left the table and marched out of the Great Hall to meet Professor Sun. Professor Sun was waiting for Goku on a marble arena with a box. Are Goku ready to begin your training? Yes sir. Excellent. First put this on Professor Sun, then pulled out a Goku-sized turtle shell and handed it to Goku. Goku, confused by the strange request, put the turtle shell on his back. Now for your first exercise you will deliver milk to every house in Hogsmeade. Milk? Goku asked. Yes, milk. The little Saiyan will put milk bottles on the door of every house in Hogsmeade, and just so you don't walk, I borrowed a surprise from Hagrid. The wonder Gohan had borrowed from Hagrid were hunter wasps, which seem like regular wasps, but have a terrible mood and could comply with you everywhere, and that's what they did for 20 whole minutes after Goku had completed delivering milk. Harry and Ron were overdue as the two friends ran into Professor McGonagall's magnificence. They were relieved that Professor McGonagall wasn't in the room, simply the relaxation of the class and a cat at the table. We were given lucky. Ought to you believe what McGonagall might do to us if we had been past due, said Harry. The cat glared at Harry before leaping off the table, turning into Professor McGonagall. That became bloody wicked, stated Ron. Thanks Mr. Weasley. Possibly I must transfigure one among you into a pocket watch so that you'll be on time. We were given misplaced, Professor, stated Harry, leaving out the element where they tried to get into the Forbidden Hall before Filch chased them with a broom. Then a map. Perhaps Professor McGonagall heard a humming noise coming from outdoor her schoolroom. Do you hear a buzzing noise? The two boys nodded their heads simply. Then Goku burst into the classroom walking at complete velocity, the hunter wasps nonetheless chasing him. Goku blasted some of them with a ki blast, however the swarm still hounded him. Hunter wasps, I swear Gohan is nearly as terrible as Hagrid. As she raised her left hand. Roar of the lion, a beam of red ki blasted from her hand and incinerated the swarm of demanding insects. Goku, please inform Gohan that if his training sessions disrupt my magnificence once more, I can kick his rear lower back to Japan. Yes ma, I am. Goku said Speedy before walking out. The subsequent morning Goku became eating breakfast with the Gryffindors once more. Speak me to Hermione, who turned into telling him about all the training she changed into taking while the owls that brought the mail flew in through the window. The owls then flew to who they mail for. A tawny owl dropped a replica of the day-by-day prophet. Goku picked it up. Hermione, what does this say? Goku, you do not know a way to examine? Hermione asked. Goku gave her his trademark smile. Nope, mother tried to train me, however I used to be continually more interested in fighting. Properly here's what it says: extraterrestrial assaults natural blood. By Rita Skeeter. Hogwarts College of Witchcraft and Wizardry for almost too many years has been below the thumb of Albus Dumbledore, the supposed wizard who discovered the 12 uses for Dragon's blood and who hasn't heard of the legendary duel among Dumbledore and Gilbert Grindelwald in 1945. However, in this reporter's opinion, has grown to be a senile old idiot who changed into a force to be reckoned with during the 1900s. Within the year of 1990, throughout a Quidditch suit, an alien little one had landed glaringly. There had been many pointers on what to do with it. One was for it to be experimented on, others said to simply exterminate it. But did the minister listen to Lucius Malfoy of Bath? Not as a substitute. He had listened to Dumbledore's recommendation. He then gave the child to be raised by James Potter and his muggle-born bride Lily Potter. It appears that evidently the infamous prankster that had terrorized Hogwarts during his time there has skilled the simple-minded creature to attack the progeny of our pure-blood community. Shortly after the school year started, the alien named Goku via Dumbledore sat at the Slytherin desk uninvited while Draco Malfoy asked him to leave. Goku grabbed him via the neck, threatened to kill him, and stormed out of the amazing hall. I knew that Elmont had been killed, however did all and sundry listen to me? Lucius Malfoy tells me if that aspect is not removed by the point this interview is posted, I am able to visit Hogwarts myself and drag it out. Goku, this is awful. It is no massive deal. I imply what can he do, stated Goku, giving her his trademark smile at the same time as within the headmaster's office he ought to sense numerous angry strength. In Dumbledore's office, the lecturers had been arguing with a tall man with long blonde hair and an angry expression. I've informed you, Lucius, leave the fortress now. You do not inform me what to do. Dumbledore, now supply me the freak this immediately, Lucius said to Dumbledore. I have a manner to settle this, stated Goku. Absolutely. Everyone turned around to peer Goku stroll into the workplace. And what may want to one of these primitive creature, advocate Lucius asks, and insults on the identical time. Goku smiled. Easy, Malfoy, a fight you and me, no magic. If I win I live at Hogwarts. If you win you can kill me in any way you need, even Avada Kedavra. Dumbledore looked at the Saiyan and wondered the sanity of the race. Goku, do you realize what you are announcing? Asked Dumbledore. I'll be pleasant. I'll be waiting on the training area, Malfoy. Goku walks out of the workplace. Well, Dumbledore, it seems I am getting my way in spite of everything, said Lucius as he walked out of the workplace. Phrase of the combat spread like wildfire. The Weasley brothers had started collecting bets and Draco changed into bragging how his father could end the healthy in seconds. Instructions were cancelled so that everyone could watch the fight. Goku became status dealing with Lucius properly. Monkey, let's get this over with, Lucius asks Goku as he drops into a fighting stance. Goku said not anything and made no flow in the direction of Malfoy. What is he doing? Yes, not even taking over a conflict stance. Lucius' notion earlier than he charged. Goku smirked. Earlier than he vanished. Best. Dumbledore chuckled. Quite brilliant. I am able to simplest name 5 humans I've ever met who understand to suppress their power. Now Goku is amongst those 5. Gohan nodded in agreement. Very true, headmaster. If he already can perform this kind of excessive technique, then there is not anything I am able to truly teach him. Lucius was looking through the area in a mad fury. Coward, show yourself. Up here, Malfoy, Goku said as he changed into flying in midair. He smirked. Earlier than descending in the front of Malfoy. You've got misplaced this war, Goku stated. Has your tiny brain stopped running? You have not even thrown a single blow. Goku stated nothing. He sincerely vanished, acting at the back of Malfoy in midair, kicking him throughout the area. I may want to tell out of your last assault. You remaking too many actions, Goku said. Earlier than landing onto the training area. Once more surrender now. It is going to be less humiliating. This can be happening. I cannot lose and I may not, Crucio. Goku's body felt like 1,000 burning needles had been being placed into his frame over and over again. He may want to barely get up. We had a deal, you coward. No magic, stated Goku, the ache become increasing as he became introduced down to one knee. Why have to I keep an agreement with this sort of filthy creature? You are nothing, just a bit of dust decrease than any mudblood. Now it's time to quit this. Lucius' wand seemed in his hand. Legitimans. Goku's felt him probe his thoughts, making him relive the come upon with Frieza over and over once more. Time to die, silly monkey. Lucius stated that just as Frieza said the words mixed together until all he heard became stupid monkey over and over. Goku broke through the curses keeping him down, his body surrounded in a golden aura, his hair spiked up going from ebony to gold, his eyes going from black to teal and complete of hatred. Goku had grown to be a wonderful Saiyan. Lucius Malfoy, you are a coward who breaks an agreement with a child just to win, and on the grounds that you are trying to kill me. How about I repay the dues? Goku crouched down, his palms going to his facets. Came, said Goku. Anybody who knew whatever approximately martial arts widened on the attack he became about to perform. Haim blue electricity fashioned in his hand. Anyone braced themselves for the energy approximately to be unleashed. Goku fired the Kamehameha enveloping Lucius. When the blast cleared, a large bite of the arena became gone and Lucius Malfoy was barely alive, the left facet of his body protected in serious burns, his wand, a pile of ash next to the stump that turned into formerly his left hand. Goku stared at the damage he had brought about earlier, then falling to the floor subconscious, his hair returning to its regular shade. Draco Malfoy turned into stunned. There was no manner he become going to permit that monkey get away with this. He ran onto the arena with his fists raised above his head, equipped to crush his neck, when Harry, Ron and Hermione ran in the front of him, protective Goku-esque collapsed shape. "Get out of my way, the freak wishes to die for what he did to my father." The Golden Trio made no attempt to flow. Draco clearly charged at them. "I stated to get out of the way, you freak huggers." He threw a punch which became stuck by Goku, who had converted, returned to outstanding Saiyan. Goku stated not anything as he threw Malfoy over to Professor Snape. "He higher be punished, Severus," Goku warned. Goku walked off the area to Professor Dumbledore and Professor Sun. His hair grew to become returned to ordinary and he gave the look of he was going to puke. Later in Dumbledore's workplace, Goku had simply heard Professor Dumbledore's new offer. "Nicely Goku, do you be given the provide Goku concept about it?" Yep. For the next 2 days everyone was talking about the fight and Harry was asked hundreds of questions about Goku, everything from asking if he was looking for students to if he was single. What was worse were the rumors that were spreading like wildfire in every class. Some thought he was a prince sent from his planet to find an exotic bride, others were his planet was destroyed by a meteor and he was the last of his race. On Friday, Harry and Ron were sick of all the rumors. "This is getting ridiculous, Ron, it's worse than the stuff about me and Voldemort." Ron involuntarily flinched at hearing the name of Britain's most evil wizard. "Sorry," Harry weakly apologized. Even though he didn't live with the Dursleys, Harry could only imagine what kind of hell that would be. His parents had never mentioned his encounter with Voldemort as a baby. "It's all right. What classes do we have today?" asked Ron. As the Hogwarts is a magical building, so the stairs were constantly moving, which made getting to classes difficult, especially if you ran into Peeves, the little immortal floating man who would send you on wild goose chase. The classes themselves proved there was more to magic than holding a wand and saying some funny words 3 times a week. The Gryffindors worked in a greenhouse behind the school with the Hufflepuffs, learning about all kinds of magical plants from a plump old woman named Professor Sprout, and Wednesdays were transfiguration and astronomy. On Thursdays, they had charms class and defense against the dark arts, which were a joke. The classroom smelled like garlic, which everyone said was to ward off a vampire he met in Romania and was afraid it would come attack him one of these days. His turban, he had told them, he got from an African prince as a thank you for getting rid of a zombie, but no one believed this story. When Seamus Finnegan had asked how he got rid of the zombie, he fainted. But anyway, on with what they have on Friday. Double potions with the Slytherins, Harry answered. "We're doomed. Fred and George told me he always favors the Slytherins," Ron groaned. Goku was sitting on the floor in the room of requirement, concentrating on the power that flowed within him with every breath. His hair changed from black to gold. Goku was so focused on his meditation that he didn't notice the 2 energy signatures that came in. Percy Weasley was pressed during the fight with Malfoy. He seemed to have no control over his actions, but now he was repeatedly transforming at will. "Not bad, kid," said Bulma. Goku opened his eyes to see Bulma and Percy standing next to him. "Hi Bulma." "Hi boring guy, what are you doing here?" asks Goku. "Hey Goku, Professor Dumbledore said you were here. He wanted us to see if you were in control of your transformation." "Wait a minute, why did he send 2 prefects?" The 2 older students looked at each other before pulling out their wands. "Sorry about this, Goku," said Bulma. "I am not." "He called me boring guy," said Percy. Harry was completely creeped out by the dungeon he was sitting in, and even more so by the greasy-haired, long-nosed, black cloak-wearing man that was Severus Snape. "Sit down, wands away, no talking," Snape said as he glared at the Gryffindors like they were evil incarnate. Everyone followed his instructions. "I don't expect that most of you will really understand the beauty of the softly simmering cauldron with its shimmering fumes, the delicate power of liquids that creep through human veins. bewitching the mind, ensnaring the senses. I can teach you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death, Snape said, glaring at Harry, who was writing down what he said. It seems famous Harry Potter is beyond my teachings. The Slytherins started to laugh. Tell me, Mr. Potter, where could I find a bazaar? Hermione raised her hand high in the air, trying to get Snape's attention. I don't know, sir, but Hermione knows, said Harry. 20 points from Gryffindor. What for? Harry asked, failing to prepare for class. Snape hissed before walking back to the board, writing instructions for a potion. Well, don't just stand there like a bunch of dunderheads. Get started. Goku was flying through the halls with Bulma and Percy running behind him, casting stunners and full body binds trying to hit him. Gotta hide. Where can I hide? Goku was somewhere in the basement of the castle where there were stacks of barrels large enough for Hagrid to stand in comfortably. He broke through a barrel and into a round room made of compacted earth with yellow furniture. Wow, there's a lot of yellow in here. Gotta hide. He then noticed the empty fireplace. An idea came to Goku as he flew into the fireplace just as Bulma and Percy ran into the Hufflepuff common room. Ha, so this is the Badger's den, said Bulma. I can sense him. The two prefects might have given up if they hadn't heard a loud bang. Ow, why is there a ceiling in a fireplace? Goku screamed. A grate fell down through the chimney and made a clang in the Hufflepuff common room. We have to get up there, said Percy. Right now we're below Ravenclaw Tower. By the time we get up there, he'll be long gone. Good thing I had a backup plan if he ditched us. Goku was flying against the ceiling, now being blasted at by the Ravenclaw prefects. Why are there so many people trying to make me learn how to read? Said Goku. The two prefects, seeing they can hit the Saiyan with their spells, put their hands together, sticking up their middle and index finger. Wyvern Cyclone, said the two prefects as a large blue cyclone surged through the hands. Goku barely dodges the attack and flies outside. The two prefects would have followed with the soaring eagle technique, when a ripped pair of orange pants came flying through the window. Come on, Penelope, we have to go after him. No way, Oliver, I am not chasing a half-naked kid through the air, said Penelope. Meanwhile, at the same time on the Quidditch pitch, it was the first year's flying lesson. Neville Longbottom had broken his wrist and the hawk-like flying instructor Madam Hooch was examining it after he had fallen off his broom. I don't want to see anyone in the air or you'll be out of Hogwarts faster than you can say Quidditch. Madam Hooch then left with the boy, taking him to the infirmary. Longbottom is pathetic, can't he even stay on his broom, said a gloating Malfoy. Shut up, Malfoy, said Pravati Patil. Malfoy was about to say a comment about Pravati when he noticed Neville's remember that he had gotten this morning. He went over and picked it up. Look, Longbottom dropped his stupid toy. Give it here, Malfoy, said Harry. Or what, Potter, your pet freak isn't around and I am not afraid of you, Weasley, or the monkey's mud-blood girlfriend. Hermione looked like she was going to explode at the girlfriend comment. I am not Goku's girlfriend, you slimy arrogant brat. How dare you even talk to me, you filthy little mud-blood. Pure bloods are the only thing that should walk in this school. Well, Longbottom's so pathetic it's hard to believe he's a pure blood, so I am going to leave this in a tree somewhere. Malfoy got onto his broom and flew into the air. Harry got onto his broom and flew after him. Give it back, Malfoy, Harry demanded. Or what, Potter? Harry noticed who was behind the arrogant pure blood and smiled. What's so funny? I'll just curse you off your broom. Less filth for the school to clean up. What was that you were saying, Malfoy, said Goku. Malfoy slowly turned around to see an angry Goku floating in midair without pants on. It would have been funny if he didn't. He looked like he would kill you without a second thought. I can't stand people like you, Malfoy, arrogant trash, who think the ground they walk on should be worshipped like they were a god on earth. Makes me sick. Now get on the ground now before I decide to beat you up along with expelling you. The look on Malloy's face was made Goku wish he had a camera. You filthy monkey, you can't expel me. Do you know who I am? Sure I do. You re the son of the wizard I beat up, who was too much of a coward to keep his word to an 11-year-old and whatever pure blood witch who married him that you came out of. And for the record, as the newly appointed head of security, I can expel anyone who is racially intolerant or a threat to the student body in general. Now get on the ground now. Goku transformed into a Super Saiyan when he said now. Goku could smell something foul coming from Malloy's pants, so he pissed himself. He was scared at first and angry. Go fetch the stupid ball monkey. He then threw the rememball. Harry, acting on an instinct, zoomed after the ball, diving through the air, catching it just as it reaches the ground. Harry landed right in front of Professor McGonagall. Professor, I can explain. Harry said. No need, Mr. Potter, you are not in the same boat as Mr. Malfoy. She then looked up to see in Goku without pants. Good Lord Goku, are you aware you have no pants on? Goku looked down as if he just realized he was half naked. At least he was wearing underwear. Professor McGonagall sighed in annoyance. Gohan and his ideas will be the death of me, I just know it. Professor McGonagall raised her wand at Goku. Stan P. Egnaro, the air changed form, becoming orange pants around Goku. Professor, you can expel me and keep the monkey when my father hears of this. Your father is in enough trouble for using an unforgivable on school grounds, Mr. Malfoy. Goku landed, grabbing Malfoy. Professor McGonagall, I am going to take Malfoy to Professor Dumbledore. Oh, and congratulations, Harry, said Goku before dragging away Malfoy, who was cursing Goku with words so foul they made Goku wonder what kind of parents speak that way around an 11-year-old. In Professor Dumbledore's office, Goku was standing with an arm on Malfoy's shoulder in case he tried running. Draco Malfoy, it gives me no pleasure to say this, but you are expelled from Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. You have 24 hours to pack your things before the train will come to take you home. Do you have any last words before your wand is snapped? Malfoy looked at Goku with pure hatred. You'll pay for this, monkey. Professor Dumbledore sighed. He had hoped that Draco would be different than his parents, but it apparently wasn't he meant to be. Goku, proceed with snapping the wand. Goku nodded and snapped the wand in two and then burning the pieces with his key. Malfoy left before he could be embarrassed anymore. When the door shut behind him, Goku smiled at the elderly headmaster. You were testing me, weren't you, old man? Goku asked with a smile. Indy, I wanted to see your level of control in a chaotic situation. I was worried you might transform. When panicked you didn't, and may continue your post as head of security, although I have one condition. With his wand, he conjured a sleeveless blue GI yellow pants, a white belt, white shin guards and pink wristbands. Please wear these if something happens to the outfit you are currently wearing. No one needs to see you naked. At the same time, in Professor McGonagall's office, Harry was being complimented by Professor McGonagall to Oliver Wood, captain of the Gryffindor Quidditch team. The boy dove 50 feet and pulled up at the last second, catching a rememball. I haven't seen someone with such talent since his father Potter. Was that your first time on a broomstick? Harry nodded. Even more amazing, Potter. Welcome to the Gryffindor Quidditch team. Goku changed into sitting in his office, a small spherical room with a view of the Quidditch pitch. Goku had observed the tough way what a howler turned into. He had acquired 100 of them, all from pure bloods, yelling at him about expelling Malfoy, 50 of them from a few vintage bat named Dolores Umbridge. I swear if I am getting every other howler I am going to blow up, stated Goku as he rubbed his temples. The young Saiyan concept of taking a nap until the Halloween banquet when Hermione came in. Hiya Hermione, what is up? Goku, do you already know why there is a massive dog in the Forbidden Hall? Flashback. Goku had come with Professor Dumbledore to his office after he defeated Lucius Malfoy. Goku turned into curious of all the magical gadgets and the fiery pink bird, but his body became nevertheless in ache from the Cruciatus curse, and anything energy left in his body had abandoned him as he sat down across from the antique wizard. Thank you, says Goku, for what, my younger pal, for retaining the Malfoys away from me as a toddler. You do no longer must thank me, but now Goku directly to the modern day country of factors. It appears James taught you highly advanced techniques mixed together with your excellent Saiyan transformation. You have passed, son Gohan. The meaning in the back of Dumbledore's phrases sank in, so I should go away. Not exactly. You likely aware of the seal on your belly and the extreme ache it brought about you in advance within the 12 months. Goku nodded. You see, the wizard who placed that mark on you is after an object that I positioned inside the school called the Sorcerer's Stone. I would love you to help in guarding it. Do you be given my offer? I be given. Give up of flashback. Hermione, can I borrow your wand? Hermione, careworn by way of the declaration, gave him her wand. Thank you. Could you stick out your hand? Hermione obliged. Goku then reduce his palm and with her wand, and then did the equal to Hermione's. Then he positioned his still bleeding hand on top of Hermione's. He then gave Hermione again her wand. Thank you for doing what I asked as a chum. I beg you don't go through that door again. Okay, if you say so. Hermione then left Goku's office. I should likely upload Harry and Ron to the blood seal too. Goku yawned. Oh, properly, I'll do it later. He then pulled out the pillow he got from the Hufflepuff common room and fell asleep. The first-rate hall was adorned for the Halloween dinner party with masses of floating jack-o'-lanterns making a song that is Halloween, the whole music from The Nightmare Before Christmas, with a swarm of stray bats flying round. The tables were protected to the brim in chocolates, with each person both eating or watching in awe at Goku filling his mouth with meals. Desirable Lord Goku, have to you sincerely devour like that, said McGonagall. I am a Saiyan, we want to devour to maintain up our energy, stated Goku before ingesting his 12th plate of meals. Everybody see Quirrell. As though on cue, Professor Quirrell came walking in screaming TR troll within the dungeon. The man then fainted like a little woman. Prefects escort the students to the dormitories. Teachers observe me, the academics with their wands out, observed Professor Dumbledore to the dungeon. Goku changed into about to observe when he felt a dark electricity heading toward the third ground. Goku then flew to discover what it was. At the same time, Harry and Ron had sneaked off to locate Hermione, they to warn her approximately the troll. Holy cow, what s that scent, said Ron. It smells like a hobo with rotten teeth driving a garbage truck in Atlantic Metropolis, stated Harry. He then blanketed his nostril in a failing attempt to block the terrible smell. They then noticed the troll on foot down the hallway, its huge grey frame, its surprisingly tiny head and the intimidating club it turned into dragging in the back of it. It walked right into a door with the important thing within the lock. Harry then slammed the door close and Ron locked the door. The two then high-fived, their feeling of victory destroyed once they heard a female screaming. Hermione, they each stated as they unlocked the door and rushed inside. The troll had Hermione cornered and became going to apply its membership to squish her like a worm, EWW, whilst Harry one way or the other managed to collect pink key in his hand. Roar of the lion, he then fired the blast on the troll against a human and common martial artist that could have triggered a variety of ache, but the troll Barley felt it nevertheless. On an adrenaline high, Harry leaped onto the troll's returned and fixed his wand up its fat unpleasant nose, which made the troll drop his membership. Ron then got here up with an concept Wingardium Leviosa. The troll's membership then flew high into the air and began pounding the troll on the head until it fell to the ground. Harry then pulled his wand out of the troll's nostril. Yuck, troll boogers. He then tried to clean up the wand with the troll's pants. High quality attack. Harry UVE got been practicing the 3 first years became to look a bloody. Goku smiling at his followed brother. You better get out of here earlier than the other instructors show up. Goku, it changed into my fault. I tried to fight the troll and I misplaced. If it wasn't for Harry and Ron I would be dead. The 3 boys have been in shock. Hermione became mendacity to a member of the Hogwarts body of workers. 5 points from Gryffindor you may subtract it from the 50 I am giving Harry and Ron for bravery and dumb luck. Goku smiled, even crushed and bloody. His smile nonetheless delivered self-assurance to people. Get out of right here before the alternative instructors display up. The 3 children nodded when they were long past. Goku started limping to the infirmary. Hermione Granger was in the library, as usual, looking through books to explain why Goku had mixed their blood. Hermione was about if she didn't find anything on the next page when the young witch hit the jackpot. The use of blood seals. A blood seal is the ultimate defense for a valuable item and requires advanced skill in magic to create the seal. The maker will mix the ink with the blood of someone who will protect the seal. This person can pass freely through. This person, if he or she chooses, can add others to the seal by mixing their blood with their own. This can be done up to 4 times after the creation of the seal. So that's why Goku is head of security, Hermione said as she went to the Great Hall, where obviously she found Goku stuffing his face at the staff table. She walked over to him just as he stuffed an entire ham into his mouth. Goku, can we talk? Sure Hermione, I was just having a small breakfast before the Quidditch match. If that's what he considers small, then I am next in line for the throne, Hermione thought to herself as she walked out of the Great Hall with Goku. Why did you add me to the blood seal? Goku, instead of denying it like she thought he would, he laughed. Damn it, I warned Dumbledore you would figure it out. You are probably the smartest girl in the whole castle. Yes, McGonagall and Flitwick owe me 100 galleons each. Thank you, Hermione. Wait a minute, if there's a blood seal protecting who knows what, why is there a giant dog in the 3rd floor corridor? "You a smart girl, you'll probably figure it out in no time," said Goku as he smiled like an idiot. "Well, don't you wanna miss the match later, Hermione?" Goku then ran off towards the Quidditch pitch. Every seat in the Quidditch pitch was filled with the news of a new Gryffindor seeker. Gryffindor, Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw were hoping to see Slytherin finally lose a match, which hasn't happened since Charlie Weasley graduated. Hogwarts alumni were also in the stadium like their student counterparts, hoping to see Slytherin get its rear kicked. "Go Gryffindor," yelled James from his seat. "James, the match hasn't started yet," said Lily. "I know, Lily, but I haven't seen those green-wearing spoiled brats lose in years." Ruby was sitting between her parents, rolling her eyes, not really paying to their argument, when suddenly she heard the laughing of her older brother behind her. Her parents also stopped their argument when they heard the laughing Cyan. "The pre-game entertainment is interesting. Goku, shouldn't you be guarding the stone?" asked Ruby. Goku was not surprised his younger sister knew about the stone. You shouldn't be looking through other people's mail, Ruby, said Goku, but since you know about the stone, you know what I am going to ask. Yeah, I know. After the match, said Ruby nonchalantly. 10 minutes later, the players marched onto the field, Gryffindor in bright red and Slytherin in green, followed by Madam Hooch carrying the box that contained the balls for the game. Captains shake hands. Oliver Wood shook hands with Marcus Flint, who looked like he was part troll, before the players got onto their brooms and flew into their positions. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lee Jordan and welcome to the first match, Gryffindor vs Slytherin. I will be your mostly impartial commentator. Now let the match begin. Madam Hooch opened the box and the bludgers and golden snitch flew onto the field. Madam Hooch then picked up the quaffle and threw it into the air. Harry flew high into the air, watching the match below, listening to the commentary as he kept an eye out for the snitch. Harry noticed a flash of gold and dove after it, and Potter has spotted the snitch. Lee Jordan shouted, for a first year, the kid can really handle a broomstick, as Harry twisted and dived, following the snitch with the Slytherin seeker not far behind when Harry thought of something he saw Goku do once. Goku could sense Harry's key spike. This is going to be good, and Goku's prediction was right as Harry flared his key, increasing the broom's speed from the stands. He looked like a red blur that caught a golden dot. Harry was now a few feet above the ground and looked like he was going to hurl. The snitch disappeared and the Gryffindor seeker looks like he's going to hurl. Jordan comment on the match. Professor McGonagall lectured. Harry spit out the snitch in his hands. It was the second worst tasting thing he ever had in his mouth, only topped by Ruby's attempt at cooking. Potter caught the snitch. It was unorthodox, but he caught it. Gryffindor wins, said Lee Jordan, with everyone, minus Slytherin, cheering like banshees. Harry was about to get off his broom when it suddenly floated 100 feet in the air and started trying to throw him off, with Harry holding on for dear life. What the heck, this isn't part of the match, said Goku as he flew into the air to save his adopted brother. When he got close to Harry, he was knocked by an invisible barrier. Ron and Hermione watched as the Cyan pounded with all his might at the barrier, but it wouldn't break that S when Hermione noticed Snape mumbling under his breath. "It's Snape, we have to stop him," said Hermione as fast as she could without drawing attention. She ran to the other side of the pitch to the teachers section. Incendio from her wand, a jet of flame surged onto Snape's robes, setting them on fire and causing effective chaos through the teacher section. Harry was about to fall off when he regained control of his broom. "Goku, the barrier wasn't under me, you could have went that way." "Excuse me for a minute." Goku flew over to a goal post and repeatedly banged his head against, mumbling "stupid" over and over. Later in Goku's office, Goku was enjoying his midday nap. Besides the crazy barrier problem and the Quidditch pitch needs a goalpost repaired. One guess which one? What else could possibly go wrong? Then the Golden Trio showed up. "Goku, what is Nicholas Flamel hiding in the castle?" Hermione said. "How do you know about Nicholas Flamel?" Hagrid. "They said at once he's not very good with secrets," said Ron, adding in his 2 cents. "Okay, fine, it's the Sorcerers." Goku was interrupted by 2 very angry-looking people storming into his office. One was a man in a suit wearing a lime green bowler hat. The other was a woman who can be described as a toad that was crammed into an old lady's sweater. "Guys, you going to have to leave." While Hermione was confused, Harry and Ron knew exactly who that was and dragged Hermione out of the line of fire between the minister and his evil-looking toad lady. No offense to Toad's minister, to what do I owe this sudden pride, said a sarcastic Goku, doing his great Snape impact. You understand thoroughly why we are here, creature, stated Umbridge. It is not that difficult to discern out from the 50 howlers who sent Draco Malfoy, broke a requirement set upon him by means of a professor of Hogwarts, stole the property of every other student, insulted other college students primarily based on their blood purity, and threatened to critically injure some other pupil. Why the minister himself got here along with you I have no concept, so come on Toad woman, hit me with your fine shot, because I can hit returned 1,000 instances tougher. Umbridge twisted her wrist and her wand seemed in her hand, whilst Goku aimed a key blast at her head. Now simply we are able to come to a few form of agreement that would be beneficial to both aspects, stated Cornelius. At the same time, as he wasn't the greatest flesh presser in magical government, he wasn't the worst either. I may not attack if the toad within the sweater lowers her wand, said Goku, his eyes in no way leaving Umbridge. Very well, minister, I will cooperate with the creature, stated Umbridge as she lowered her wand, for now she thought, as Goku lowered his hand as the key blast diminished away. Now Goku, is there any way that you could allow Mr. Malfoy lower back into faculty? I can think of one idea. Have to speak to Professor Dumbledore first, but I haven't any doubt he'll comply with what I've in mind. Name it, said Cornelius. Goku smiled. Simple, minister, all you have to do is locate someone associated with the GIT and get her or him to sign up within the college search anywhere. My simplest requirement is that this man or woman is vintage enough to wait Hogwarts and no longer a pure blood. It's impossible, and also you know it, you foul manipulative demon. No self-respecting member of the Malfoy own family could ever be with someone who is not of natural magical blood. Umbridge screamed so near the young Saiyan's face he should sense her spit on his cheek. Now Dolores, it isn't always is not possible as you are making it sound. The Malfoys are one of the biggest pure blood families within the country. What he is asking isn't always impossible. But minister, have to why need to we even concentrate to this element? For all we recognize it could have been created by way of the Dark Lord. Are you loopy, lady, said Ruby as she descended from her hiding place on the ceiling. Goku would not have an evil bone in his frame. This simply isn't my day. Goku notioned to himself. Thank you for the phrases of confidence, little sister, but I have given my personal evidence. Goku went over to the cloth wardrobe in his office, grabbing the object in it and setting it at the table. Desirable, Lord, is that what I suppose it is, requested Umbridge. On top of the desk become a wooden head that gave the look of a demon with a mouth full of fangs in between the eyes turned into the darkish mark. Sure, it is the head of a demise drone, a merciless killing system that was in Hogwarts on Halloween. It almost killed me. Pay attention well, Umbridge, insult me all you need, name me demon, creature, beast, however, name me a dying eater once more, and there is nothing on earth as a way to forestall me from finishing your existence. Now get out. Terrified for her life, Umbridge fled the workplace. Goku civilly stated goodbye to the minister and he also left the workplace. Wow, Goku, I in no way seen you that mad before. I guess this task has achieved some top for you. You know you should not be eavesdropping, Ruby. I would have left in case you sensed my strength, but the huge bad Saiyan isn't always the handiest one that can cover their ki. Honest enough, day after today Harry, Hermione and Ron tried to figure out who Nicholas Flamel was hiding inside the fortress. We understand Goku knows something it is, so who is going to invite him, requested Hermione. I am now not going anywhere close to an irritated extremely good Saiyan, stated Ron. We ought to sneak into Goku's office when he is no longer there. Goku regarded up from his breakfast to peer Harry, Hermione and Ron go away the extremely good hall. They might have simply asked. 20 minutes later in Goku's workplace, the golden trio were going via the drawers of Goku's desk. Why does he use this if he does not write, said Ron as he seamed through an empty drawer. Hermione seamed through the drawer that had a pillow and a blanket. He sleeps on his desk. Probably, said Harry as he determined a chunk of paper in a scroll. I discovered something. Harry spread out the paper on the table. It seemed like some sort of map, however whoever drew it probably had the worst handwriting inside the entire universe. What's this? It looks as if a 12 months antique may want to have carried out better, stated Hermione as she attempted to read the map. Most effective Goku should draw this factor. Harry may want to you determine it out, asked Ron. Truly I just recognize Goku made it something it as far I don't have any idea, said Harry. The Golden Trio left making plans on looking to decipher the map later. On the identical time Goku becomes schooling in the Forbidden Woodland, Professor Dumbledore had given him permission to compete, and he turned into going to give the whole lot he had, as he knew there were lots of effective martial artists within the global. Later that night Goku went lower back to his workplace exhausted after spending the day education within the forest he had a month to put together for the tournament, while nonetheless being in search of Voldemort. Goku ought to experience his buddy's power around his table, so he knew they'd taken the map he left for them. They still could have just asked, stated Goku as grabbed the pillow and blanket from his drawer and got prepared to sleep. 3 weeks later Goku become at the airport with Professor Sun and the 2 students he had decided on to go with him. One become a 2D 12-month smuggle born from Japan with blonde hair and whisker marks on his face, wearing a sleeveless orange martial arts GI with a purple spiral on the lower back. The alternative being a 4th-year Hufflepuff named Cedric Diggory sporting a yellow GI with a black belt. They'd just arrived in Japan a few hours before. It has been a few years because I have come to the Tenkaichi Budokai. UVE sincerely entered it, asked Goku of path I have earlier than I came to paintings at Hogwarts. I was a world-renowned martial artist. And now you a sadistic drill sergeant who had hunter wasps chase me sporting a turtle shell that actually weighed a ton. To be greater accurate, little monkey, it was 10 lots. Frankly I used to be amazed you may pass with it on. After some extra minutes of playful banter among pupil and teacher and a taxi experience to the event grounds where they had been fast registered with Goku, Naruto and Cedric heading to the area for the preliminaries. You'll be thinking why Naruto is in a DBZ-HP crossover. Nicely, it is very simple. You see, Masashi Kishimoto, author of Naruto, was inspired by using DBZ. In case you appearance carefully at Naruto and Goku, you can see the similarities among them. Now you have found out something new. Back to violent fiction. The preliminaries had been smooth as maximum of the martial artists had handiest Muggle level electricity. The 8 individuals who made it to the finals stood in front of the event MC and a bald monk. Congratulations to the 8 of you for making it through the preliminaries. Now once I name your name, please break through so you can get your slot inside the bracket. Jackie Chun, in vintage man sporting Chinese style preventing garments, walked up to the MC and grabbed various from the container. Variety 4. Okay, so you in fit wide. Variety 2. Namu Ram, an Indian guy carrying a turban, walked ahead and grabbed a range of from the field. I am range 8. Very well, you are in match. Quantity 4. Krillin, a touch bald boy, a touch smaller. Then Goku, wearing the turtle uniform, walked up and pulled a card out. Number 1. Alright, you inside the first match. Yamcha. Yamcha dressed similar to in canon the first time he entered the event. Quantity 3. Awesome, you'll be preventing Jackie Chun within the second. Healthy. Uzumaki Naruto stepped forward and grabbed a card. Wide. Variety 5. Okay, you inside the third. Healthy. Cedric Diggory walked and picked Variety 7, setting him inside the fourth suit in opposition to Namu. Draco Malfoy, what Goku concept as he noticed the arrogant bastard he were given expelled, but there was something repulsive in his strength as he picked up Wide. Variety 2, putting him within the same bracket as that Krillin child. Goku got Quantity 6, which put him towards Naruto. Alright, now that the bracket is crammed, please wait here while I announce the first in shape, said the MC as he walked onto the arena. When he and the monk have been long past, Goku walked over to Malfoy. Why are you here, Malfoy? The pure blood wizard smirked. Payback for the whole thing you've accomplished to my circle of relatives, half-breed scum. Jackie Chun, who changed into surely grasped Roshi, knew approximately wizards, and wasn't he amazed by the pure blood's racism? He'd keep quiet as long as the boy failed to ruin the statue of secrecy. Ladies and gents, welcome to the Tenkaichi Budokai. Now allow us get directly to the action. Our first round is among Draco Malfoy of England and Krillin. The 2 competitors came out and stood dealing with each other. Surrender now, you are in no manner advanced to me. Krillin right away hated this man. He had absolutely insulted him without ever even seeing him fight. He wasn't a master, however he was going to kick this man's arrogant ass. Here are the policies: you could not strike beneath the belt or your opponent's eyes, or in among their legs, the in-shape ends, whilst either fighter is pined for 10 seconds, falls out of the ring, or forfeits. Weapons are not allowed, and you cannot kill your opponent. Is that clear? Yes, sir, stated Krillin. Like I would waste time killing this weakling, said an overassured Malfoy. You could start, stated the MC as Krillin charged at his opponent, throwing a punch at his head. Malfoy ducked and dispatched a round kick at Krillin, hitting him rectangular within the chest. Krillin got up and got into the stance that was well known to martial artists internationally. Malfoy became angered. This became the technique that left his father in St. Mungo's for 2 months, as the healers were barely able to keep his lifestyles. A blue ball of energy appeared in Krillin's palms. Malfoy became now not approximately to allow him end. Inexperienced ki surrounded the pointers of his hands as he charged, slamming his ki-infused palms in the direction of Krillin's stomach. Krillin leaped out of the manner. However, Master Roshi the Slytherin Fang wasn't a technique for use in an event, as maximum of its sufferers died from the attack targeting the inner organs. Roshi became livid. He had entered the event in secret, so he should ensure his student get arrogant if he gained no longer watch him die within the first round. Go turned into also furious that everybody could educate him that method. Hogwarts guidelines forbade mastering of any of the 4 founders' varieties of martial arts till 4th 12 months. Their final strategies 5th, he might possibly have to beat Malfoy right into a coma for using it. Krillin failed to realize what that approach changed into, however he wasn't going to let it hit him both. Stated Krillin as they had been each enveloped via blue power. Malfoy was blown into the wall out of doors. The area. Great Krillin has received his match. Krillin turned into what may able to get up and limp to the ready region, but not earlier than dropping out of the tournament due to his injuries inside the combating location. Krillin stumbled a chunk and Goku stuck him before he ought to fall and hurt himself anymore. Thanks, I wanted the assist, stated Krillin as Goku helped him onto his feet. No trouble, thank you for disposing of Malfoy for me. Yeah, nicely. The guy failed to suppose virtually, and he has to stay without palms. In Hagrid's hut, watching the tournament became Hagrid and the golden trio around Hagrid's fireplace. Malfoy were given his ass surpassed to him, stated Ron, guffawing. Serves that natural blood git proper, he failed to assume immediately, and now he has to suffer for it, stated Hermione. Harry couldn't watch for the next healthy as he ate a number of the popcorn next to Hagrid, who had her infant dragon in his lap. Norbert likes the fit too, don't ya? Norbert the child dragon growled within the half of Giant's lap. Ye recollect the deal, you 3? I advised ya approximately the stone, and also you 3 preserve quiet about Norbert. The golden trio nodded and watched the fireplace, looking forward to the second suit. In Hagrid's hut, the golden trio was huddled around the fire watching the Tenkaichi Budokai. Ladies and gentlemen, are you excited for the next match? I know I am, so here they're Yamcha and Jackie Chun. The 2 competitors walked into the arena as the crowd shouted their approval. Time to see if this old body still has it. You may begin the match, said the MC. Yamcha ran at Jackie, throwing a punch at him. The elder fighter ducked under the attack before leaping into the air and delivering a roundhouse kick to his side, sending him across the arena. Yamcha flipped in midair, standing where he was where the match started. I am impressed few men have recovered so quickly after one of my attacks. I was going to save this for the finals, but you've forced my hand. Wolf Fang Fist. Yamcha charges at Jackie Chun, an illusion of a wolf running with him. Jackie simply smiles and punches the air, creating a shockwave that sends Yamcha into the wall. Ring out, the winner is Jackie Chun. The crowd roars as Jackie helps Yamcha get up. You have great potential, train hard, it's the best advice I can give. Thanks, I'll take that advice, said Yamcha as the 2 walked into the waiting area. Well, that was exciting, wasn't it? Our next fight is between Goku and Naruto. Naruto walked out to the arena followed by Goku, who was thinking of the conversation he had with Professor Dumbledore about him. Flashback: Goku was in Professor Dumbledore's office. Goku, I believe you should know some things about one of the students Professor Sun is taking to the Tenkaichi Budokai. Okay, Professor Dumbledore pulled out a file with a picture of Naruto. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. His parents are martial artists who live in Tokyo. While he has no actual magical talent besides being able to fake it enough to pass, his fighting style is unorthodox as it doesn't use ki. If Goku had been drinking something at the moment, he would have spit it out on his employer. If he doesn't use ki, then how does he fight so good to qualify for the tournament? That's what I want you to find out. If you face him, I would want you to test his abilities, even use Super Saiyan if you have to. Of course, sir. End flashback. Goku stared at Naruto. Let us give these people a fight to remember. Okay, Naruto. I was going to say the same thing to you, Goku. Let the match begin, shouted the MC at the top of his lungs. In the audience were a man with blonde hair and blue eyes and a woman with long red hair and violet eyes. Fight, Naruto. Kick that kid's monkey-tailed butt, the woman yelled. Naruto and Goku heard this. While Goku had no idea who it was, Naruto smiled. No way am I going to lose. Naruto then began doing movements with his hands that Goku didn't understand. Shadow clone jutsu. In an explosion of smoke, an army of Narutos were around Goku. This is awesome, Goku thought as the clones charged. Goku charged straight into the clones, punching and kicking left and right, making the clones disappear in a puff of smoke. When all the clones were gone, Goku was in the arena alone searching for Naruto. He heard a noise above him and quickly leaped back as Naruto with a ball of spinning energy fell from the air. The ball created multiple cracks in the arena around a crater the size of a man's head. Note to self: don't let that hit me, said Goku as he saw the damage it did. Oh, come on, Goku, I know you're stronger than this. You'd have to beat Malfoy team. That depends. I'll go full power if you do. Naruto sat down cross-legged and closed his eyes way ahead of you. Goku felt a strange energy around Naruto. He needed to go Super Saiyan before he was finished. Ha! Goku shouted as golden energy surrounded his body as he became a Super Saiyan. Just as Naruto gained orange rings around his eyes, when he opened them they looked more like a frog's. Goku and Naruto charged at each other. As the two met in the center of the arena, the two threw blows at each other, trying to push the other back. After 5 minutes, Goku was able to punch Naruto in the stomach, only for it to be another clone. The real Naruto was in the corner of the arena with another of his sphere attacks, but this one had a shuriken of wind surrounding it. It's over. Goku wind style Rasen's Hurricane. Naruto threw the attack at the young Saiyan, who quickly fired a Kamehameha at the Rasen's Hurricane. When the two powerful attacks collided, created a powerful shockwave as the two attacks imploded, sending the two out of the ring. Goku avoided touching the ground by flying, while Naruto just fell out of the ring. Ring out. I hope you had your DVRs at home on, folks, because that was one of the most amazing fights I've ever seen, said the MC. Naruto got up. If you had used my power, we could have clobbered that Saiyan, said a voice in his head. We could have, but it may not have been as fun, Kurama. Naruto replied to the voice in his head. Hey Goku, here as a reward for kicking my butt. Naruto was then surrounded by a puff of smoke. When it cleared, in his place was an older looking Hermione without any clothes on and smoke covering the private areas. Goku covered his eyes. Don't look. If Hermione doesn't kill me for seeing her naked, then Bulma will, and if Bulma doesn't kill me, Ruby will, and if Ruby doesn't finish the job, then Mom will. At Hagrid's cabin, the male members of the Golden Trio were laughing. I knew you can be scary, Hermione, but I didn't know you were scary enough to whip a Saiyan, said Harry as he rolled on the floor holding his stomach. I can't breathe. It's so funny, but it hurts so bad, said Ron as he banged his hand against the floor. Both boys stopped laughing when Hermione hit them with a frying pan. Thank you for letting me borrow that, Hagrid said, Hermione giving the half-giant back his pan. No problem, Hermione, but you have to admit it is kind of funny. Hermione sighed. She did think it was funny that someone so powerful could be afraid of a woman's wrath. Goku's smarter than he looks. Meanwhile, there was a brief intermission because of the multiple perverts in the audience and one perverted turtle hermit in disguise who suffered blood loss from Naruto's transformation. Okay folks, that was unexpected. Also know that the technique used has been banned from this tournament due to its effect on the audience. The perverts groaned. Anyways, on to our last fight of the quarterfinals, Cedric Diggory vs Namu Ram. Well, this is interesting, said Hagrid. Why, Hagrid? Well, Hermione before Gon was offered the job. Professor Dumbledore offered it to Namu. He refused though, and from what I've seen, that Diggory boy's no pushover. The Golden Trio could see where he was going with this. It was going to be a good fight. Cedric bowed to Namu. May the best man win. Namu also bowed. Thank you, young one, let me see your abilities. You two may begin. Cedric placed his hands on the ground. Yellow ki began to form around it until it was like boxing gloves. Cedric then charged at Namu, fighting in a way that looks very similar to kickboxing. Namu simply moved in out of the attacks. Namu then flipped over Cedric and attempted to strike at a pressure point when Cedric sank into the ground. Goku, watching the match, was impressed. From what Professor Sprout told him, there were few Hufflepuffs who mastered the quicksand technique in under a year. Cedric reappeared behind Namu as the two began exchanging blows with each other. Cedric careful to dodge Namu's attempts of hitting his pressure points. Namu flipped back. You are quite skilled, but I have no intention of losing. Neither do I. Cedric then charged at Namu, leaping into the air, striking at Namu from the left and right. Namu ducked under the attacks, and with a quick strike to Cedric's stomach, Namu then attacked pressure points on the fourth year's arms and legs, making Cedric fall to the ground. You have fought well, and as such I have only disabled your limbs for 1 minute. Had you been not such a skilled fighter, one would have disabled them for longer. Cedric Diggory cannot continue as such. The winner is Namu Ram. 20 seconds after the announcement, Cedric regained control of his limbs and walked out of the arena with Namu standing in the arena. Since Krillin has withdrawn, Jackie Chun will advance to the final round. We will now see who Jackie will be facing: Goku, the pint-sized powerhouse, or Namu Ram, the quick-moving master of pressure points. The crowd roars in approval as Goku and Namu walk onto the arena. As soon as the MC was out of the arena, Goku and Namu charge at each other. Namu aims at Goku's legs, trying to end the match quickly, but Goku, having watched the last fight, dodges the attacks. Goku flips back and fires a beam of ki at Namu. The man flips over the attack and charges forward. Goku then spins like a high-speed top as he moves forward. Namu can T-strike the spinning Saiyan and is pushed back. Namu was nearly pushed out of the ring when Goku stopped spinning. "I don't feel so good," said a dizzy Goku. Namu then kicked Goku and he landed on the other side of the arena. Namu was about to kick Goku out of the ring when his tail wrapped around his legs and threw him to the floor. Namu quickly got up. "I will finish this." Namu then leaped into the air and crossed his arms before diving down in the name of Buddha. Namu then with his crossed hands landed directly on Goku's neck just as he was about to get up. Namu was about to leave the arena when Goku stood up holding onto his neck. "But how the Tendoku Jiken should have knocked you out for 10 days. How in Brahma are you standing?" "I am just lucky, I guess," said a smiling Goku. The young Saiyan then leaped into the air and firing a barrage of ki down on Namu, covering the arena in smoke. Namu tried to sense for Goku when suddenly Goku appeared in the smoke and kicked Namu, sending the Indian man out of the arena. We have a winner. The winner and our second finalist is Goku. Goku was happy about this. Meanwhile, Jackie Chun was watching the young Saiyan. "I can't afford to hold back any punches against this one." 2 hours later, the final round has begun, both sides not showing even the slightest signs of backing down to the other. Goku and Jackie Chun both decide to use their ace in the hole. Haim ha ha. 2 beams of blue energy collide on the arena, both trying to push the other back, but Jackie manages to push the beam at the young Saiyan, who with every ounce of willpower in his tiny little body to push both beams up into the sky. "You re pretty good for a little kid, and you've kept yourself in shape, old man. Let us end this like true warriors with one final clash." Goku nodded, and the two rushed at each other. The two proud and powerful martial artists leaped into the air, both delivering a kick into the other's gut, with both landing on their knees and Goku collapsing with a smile on his face. Ladies and gentlemen, after the fiercest battle in this tournament's long history, we have a winner, Jackie Chun. The old man calmly took his prize money and after removing the itchy wig on his head collected his student. The Golden Trio and Hagrid have been in awe at the match they simply seen. "I cannot believe Goku lost." "He is in no way lost," said Harry, amazed at what he noticed. Goku's legs were not as lengthy Jackie Chun's, so his kick didn't move as deep as his, said Hermione. At the back of them they heard a noise. The four within the hut turned to look. Crabbe and Goyle, Malfoy's former cronies, strolling in the direction of the fort. "You suspect they noticed?" Norbert requested Ron. "We cannot chance it. We need to get to them earlier than they get to Snape," stated Harry as he and Hermione rushed out of the hut with their wands out, with Ron now not that a ways at the back of as they chased the two Slytherins. They may be heading for the dungeons, stated Harry. He then fired a crimson ball of ki blast at Crabbe, hoping to journey him, but Goyle deflected it, sending it right returned at Harry, who ducked below the assault. How the heck did the two morons try this, requested a surprised Ron. Let us find out, Wingardium Leviosa, stated Hermione. The two large boys were then levitating in mid-air. Now did you spot whatever uncommon in Hagrid's hut? The two bumbling Slytherins nodded their heads. Hermione then started shaking them in the air like they were ragdolls. Now are you sure you saw something, said Hermione with the equal voice. They nodded once more, and this time Hermione levitated them better into the air. Now are you truly advantageous you saw anything, because I'd hate to lose my cognizance and drop you. Harry and Ron have been watching the interrogation in awe and fear. Bloody hell, no surprise Goku's frightened of her, said Ron. The pink-haired Hermione had then dropped him gently onto the floor. What do you suggest, requested Harry. Properly, you need to run along now and observe. The two nodded, walking off. Hermione appeared to the others. What is our hassle? Norbert wishes to head before Crabbe and Goyle rat out Hagrid. You don't think that scared them? Ron asked. Hermione changed into in reality frightening. Hermione shrugged. For now, however, eventually they'll tell a person. Goku and the rest of the organization from Hogwarts had simply were given off the aircraft. Goku changed into glad to get out of that big metal death entice, flying with ki turned into mana higher, and with no suggest women telling him to stop consuming a lot meals. You guys go in advance, I'll seize up, said Goku. The rest of his organization nodded as they went to get a cab to take them to King's Go Station. Goku sensed the familiar power and walked into the cafe, sitting at a desk across from Lily. Hello Mom. Hello Candy Heart. Congratulations on second area. Your father failed to even get that away's his first time competing. Thank you. I am going to guess you didn't come here just to congratulate me. This year's changed you. You're greater, mature, greater warfare hardened. If I knew you would be like this, I wouldn't have let you go to Hogwarts. Mom, you did not realize approximately the seal or approximately what took place to my organic father or Malfoy or the purple toad. Ugh, I remember her. She was a year above me, no longer lots of a witch out of doors of protection. Yeah, well, I gave her a wild goose chase, stated a smiling Goku. There's the Goku I take into account. I am satisfied to look the little boy I raised. Isn't always absolutely long gone. Mom, I will always be your little boy actually, but I am developing up, said Goku. I recognize Goku. Promise me something. You protected your brother when he changed into a baby from Voldemort. I beg you don't forestall shielding him. May not. Do not worry, Harry may not come to be like me, I promise. Goku then stood up and hugged his mother. Goku, I might recommend flying. There is a crowd of journalists wanting to interview you. Thank you for the warning Mom. Love you too. Goku flew through the air, feeling the wind rush around him as he flew through the air. This is amazing, he shouted as he flipped through the air before continuing flying towards Hogwarts. Flashback. How are we supposed to get a dragon off the grounds? Hermione. Ron asked. I am thinking Ronald. Hermione said. What's this about a dragon? The golden trio turned to see a smiling Goku looking up at them. What dragon? Harry said, hoping his brother wouldn't figure it out. Oh, so if I went to Professor Dumbledore he would say there isn't a dragon here at all. Okay Goku, there is a dragon and we need to get it out of the castle before Crabbe and Goyle tell Snape. Isn't there a dragon reserve or something I could just drop it off at? The closest one is in Romania. Goku frowned. We should probably hurry cause Severus and the two dum-dums are heading towards Hagrid's hut. We'll distract them. You get Norbert off the ground, said Hermione. Got it. Wait, who's Norbert the dragon? At least not all of the old Goku is gone. Mom thought so too, by the way. She says hi, Goku said before taking off. Harry, Hermione and Ron hid behind a corner as they saw Professor Snape walk out of the castle with Crabbe, who was walking funny thanks to Hermione, and Goyle were behind him. Hermione held out her wand and pointed it at the ground in front of Snape. Glaciers, she said under her breath. A blast of frozen wind was launched from her wand and froze the path in front of Snape, causing him to slip and fall on his black cloak. As Hermione repeated the charm in front of Crabbe and Goyle, causing the two Slytherins to fall on top of Snape. Mr. Crabbe and Mr. Goyle, get your fat bodies off me this instant, Snape roared. Harry, Ron and even Hermione were struggling to hold in their giggles as they went to Hagrid's hut. After 5 minutes, Snape burst into Hagrid's hut. "All right, Hagrid, where is it?" "Where's what?" Severus Hagrid asked. "You know very well what I am talking about." Snape took out his wand. "Accio Dragon." "Somewhere over the English Channel." Goku nearly lost his grip on Norbert. "Will you stop squirming? It's a long flight to Romania." Goku suddenly stopped mid-air. "Wait a minute, where the heck is Romania? Why didn't he?" Goku bring a map. Meanwhile, back at Hagrid's hut, nothing happened. "Well, Severus, yeah, can see there's no dragon." A furious Snape then turned his wand at Harry. "You know where is it? Knowing you're like that arrogant swine of a father, you had some hand in this." A furious Hagrid moved in front of Harry and Snape. "Severus, if ye wish to keep breathing, ye won't threaten students in my house." Hagrid roared, key visible around his body. Snape lowered his wand. "Very well, Hagrid, I know who is the superior fighter between us. 100 points from Gryffindor." "On what grounds?" shouted Harry. "For smuggling an illegal creature off the grounds. Be lucky there's no evidence, or you'd be in Azkaban faster than you could say Quidditch." Snape left the half-giant's hut, followed by Crabbe and Goyle, who may have said something if not fear of Hermione making not. At the same time, on top of a building in France, Goku and Norbert looking at a map. End flashback. "Okay, Romania may or may not be the country that looks like a heel," said Goku, "but it could be the really big country to the east." "No, I am not asking for directions," said Goku. "We can figure this out." As Goku tried to look at the map again. Harry is eating when Goku burst into the Great Hall. "Food faster than the Roadrunner who goes meep meep." Goku was on top of the Gryffindor table, stuffing morsel after morsel into his mouth. Harry and the others looked concerned. "Are you okay?" Hermione whispered. "Romania is far," was all Goku said. Very little passed during the next 6 months for Harry, Hermione and Ron. They had to balance studying for their finals and worrying about Voldemort, who they figured was the one who was trying to steal the stone, bursting into the castle to steal it. "I don't get it. Why would Voldemort want the stone?" "According to Hagrid, he just disappeared fighting Goku," said Harry as they were sitting by the lake. "Well, let us approach it from his point of view. I went to kill you and the Potters. For whatever reason I try to kill Goku first, but he transforms." "Wait, he could turn into a Super Saiyan when he was one?" asked Ron. "No, Ron, according to Hagrid, Goku turned into a giant monkey, so Voldemort fought the monkey and Harry and his parents escaped. Voldemort used some kind of seal to make sure Goku could never transform into the monkey again." "But how did he disappear?" "Well, Hagrid said that at the same time the seal was put on Goku, he was hit with a giant ki blast. If Voldemort survived, he would be recovering. That's why he wants the stone to regain his full power," said Harry. "We have to tell Dumbledore," said Hermione as the three ran back into the castle, running into Goku. "Hey Harry, what's the rush?" said Goku. "Goku, where's Professor Dumbledore?" said Hermione. He had some business in the ministry, but he'll be back by tonight." "The stone might be gone by tonight," said Ron. "Wait, why?" said Goku. "Oh, you think Voldemort is trying to steal the stone?" Goku thought for a moment. "Oh crap, he might be able to break through the seal." "What seal?" asked Harry and Ron. "Not important right now, we have to get to the 3rd floor now." Harry, Ron and Hermione followed Goku as they ran to the 3rd floor corridor. When they got there, Ron tried to open the door. "It's locked." "Oh, for goodness sakes, are you a wizard or not?" Hermione then pointed her wand at the door. "Alohomora." The door opened and the four ran in, looking to see Fluffy, the giant 3-headed dog, sleeping like a baby. "Hermione, you try and find a teacher. Me, Ron and Goku will go down." "No way, someone needs to make sure you don't get killed or worse, expelled. You really need to get your priorities straight, Hermione," said Goku as the four leapt into the trapdoor. The end. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel for more.